Good morning, children. Today, I'm going to start very interesting chapter, Unit 5, and the chapter is Surface Chemistry. This chapter is the unit of physical chemistry, but it has no numerical. And this chapter is very useful for all the candidates, even for very weak students, passing students also, because it contains nearly 3 or 4 marks in CBSE board, and it is mark scoring subject. And generally students ignore this chapter and they think that this chapter is only learning. So according to my opinion, this chapter is not learning only, it is understanding also. So try to understand this chapter and prepare yourself for CBSE board. Now see, surface chemistry means what? On the basis of name of this chapter, it is clear that the branch of chemistry which deals with the phenomena occurring on the surface of solid or liquid is known as surface chemistry. Why I am talking about solid and liquid only? Because solid and liquid has surface, gas has no surface. Okay, so at the same time go through the notes and I am going to explain each topic of the notes and somewhat extra material also. You should note down all the notes given in this page and try to learn it. Introduction. Introduction is already just I have told just now. The branch of chemistry which deals with the phenomena occurring on the surface of solid or liquid is known as surface chemistry. Now, the first topic is adsorption. ADSORPTION, adsorption. What is adsorption and what is absorption? You see, the phenomenon of accumulation and retention of particles of liquid or gas on the surface of solid or liquid is known as adsorption. Now see the example, adsorption of water vapor on silica gel or adsorption of gases like NH3, PH3 etc. on activated charcoal. So this is the example of adsorption. Now there are two terms in adsorption. First term is adsorbate and second term is adsorbent. So adsorbate and adsorbent. Now see, the substances which are adsorbed are known as adsorbate, and the substances which are the substances on the surface of which adsorption takes place are known as adsorbent. Now example is, see, look this figure. This is the figure. In this there is water vapor. Be focused on this figure, water vapor, and this is silica gel. This silica gel is adsorbent. Silica gel is adsorbent and water vapor is adsorbate. So the example, water vapor is adsorbent and silica gel is adsorbent. Now what is desorption? This year in CBSE board, this question was asked, desorption. So desorption is just the reverse of adsorption. The process of removal of adsorbate from the surface of adsorbent is known as desorption. Just it is opposite of adsorption. Now the topic is absorption. ABSORPTION, absorption. Now absorption is what? Please see the notes. The phenomenon in which molecular species of one substance, I mean absorbate, are accumulated on the surface as well as inside, that is throughout the substance and adsorbent is known as absorption. Now the example of absorption of water vapor in anhydrous CaCl2. Now look this figure. In this figure, this is anhydrous calcium chloride, and around this there is water vapor. Now water vapor is absorbed. Better now. Now absorption, just see this example. This is anhydrous calcium chloride and there is water vapor. Now water vapor intermix in anhydrous calcium chloride thoroughly. Just in life example, you take two sweet. वन इज थर्ड क्लास टिकरी, जिसको गांव में बोलते हैं आटा का बनाओ, उसमें चीनी के चाशनी में डीप कर दो. एंड सेकंड इज रसगुल्ला. ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेरी फेमिलियर विथ रसगुल्ला टर्म. तो रसगुल्ला में देखोगे कि शुगर पूरा इनसाइड आउटसाइड एकदम इक्वली है. सो दैट वन इज एब्जॉर्प्शन. एंड इन टिकरी आटा वाले में जो आपने देखा या खाजा करते हो और वो चीनी की चाशनी में डिप कर दो, यू फाइंड दैट the sugar particles are only on the upper part of that sweet. So that one is a normal example of adsorption, and this rasgulla is example of absorption. Now see, there is difference. It is not very popular question, but you should know this. What are the differences between adsorption and absorption? Please look this. There are 3 points I have given, and please make the note. Now point number 1, left side I have written adsorption, right side I have written absorption. This is point 1. It is a surface phenomena. Adsorption is a surface phenomena because on the surface of adsorbent only adsorption is there, not inside that. Absorption, it is a bulk phenomena. Point number 2, the concentration of adsorbate is more on the bulk, is more than in the bulk, and the concentration of the adsorbate is more on surface, more on surface than in the bulk of adsorbent. And for absorption, concentration is the same throughout the material. Now point number 3, adsorption is rapid in the beginning and its rate slowly decreases. Just in the beginning, adsorption is very fast, and after interval of times, the adsorption is slow. But absorption proceeds at uniform rate, same rate. Now there is a term, please look, sorption. This is sorption. What is sorption? It's a very important one. You have to be careful about this topic. Sorption means the phenomenon in which both adsorption and absorption both take place simultaneously, means at the same time, is known as sorption. Example is dipping of chalk stick in ink. Chalk stick, you should dip the chalk stick in ink. We see that the coloring matter is adsorbed while the water is absorbed. What you watch, if you dip the chalk stick in ink and after some time you scratch the upper layer of the chalk by your blade, you find that the coloring matter which are adsorbed on the surface are removed. But inside the chalk, water enters. So, dipping of chalk stick in ink is very good example of sorption. It means in this, adsorption as well as absorption both are taking place at the same time. Now, the mechanism of adsorption. You see, by Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, delta G is equal to delta H minus d delta S. Already you have read in class 11, chapter thermodynamics. Since adsorption is exothermic, it means delta H is equal to negative. Now question is, why adsorption is exothermic? Because in adsorption, there is formation of a kind of bond, or there is interaction between adsorbate and adsorbent, and due to interaction between adsorbate and adsorbent, some heat is released. So during adsorption always heat is released and delta H is equal to negative. And suppose there are gas, before adsorption randomness is more and after adsorption randomness is decreased. It means during adsorption randomness is decreased. It means entropy is decreased. Therefore delta S, which is entropy, delta S is equal to also negative. So delta H is negative, delta S is negative. Now putting this value in this equation, what we get? Delta G is equal to minus delta H. This minus minus plus, that will be plus T delta S. So delta G will be negative if T delta S is less than delta H. T delta S is less than delta H only when delta G will be negative, because already I have told the adsorption is a phenomena. It means it is spontaneous in nature. For a spontaneous process, delta G is negative. What we conclude here? It means adsorption prefers at lower temperature. Now, after this, come to the next topic. This is types of adsorption. On the basis of the formation of bond or interaction between adsorbate and adsorbent, the adsorption is classified in two types. One is physical adsorption or physisorption, and second is chemical adsorption and or chemisorption. So come one by one. Now the first one is physical adsorption, or you can tell physisorption. The adsorption takes place due to weak van der Waals force of attraction. Intermolecular force of attraction is if taking place between adsorbate and adsorbent, then it is known as physisorption or physical adsorption. Now come to the characteristics of physisorption. So in CBSE board, two type of questions are asked. One is write some different characteristics of physisorption, or write characteristics of chemisorption, or what are the difference between physisorption and chemisorption. So focus here. Characteristics of physisorption. Point 1 is it is non-specific in nature. It means what? Any gas can adsorb on the surface of any adsorbent, because there is weak van der Waals force of attraction between adsorbate and adsorbent. So any gas can be adsorbed on the surface of any adsorbent. So it is not highly specific, so it is non-specific in nature. Now second one is nature of gas or adsorbent. You see, greater is the critical temperature. What is critical temperature? So the temperature at which any gas can be liquefied is known as critical temperature. So greater is the critical temperature, that is those gases which are easily liquefiable are easily adsorbed. जो गैस आसानी से लिक्विफाई हो जाता है वो आसानी से एडजॉर्ब होगा. इट मीन्स व्हाट? Which gases are easily adsorbed? Those gases which are having large molecular size and they have more intermolecular force of attraction. They have more van der Waals force of attraction. So those gases are easily liquefiable. And if the gas is easily liquefiable, then it has more physisorption than the gas which are not very easily liquefiable. Now look the example. Adsorption of NH3, HCl, CO2, etc. have more physisorption than H2, O2, N2, etc. Now come to third point. This point is nature of adsorbent. More porous, look the note, more porous, large surface area and more rough is the surface of adsorbent, more is the physisorption. Means what? If surface is more rough, then adsorption is more and more. Now, fourth point is, now see, it's a very good example. If you put mehndi on this palm, then on palm the color of mehndi is more in comparison to the upper part. Why? Because this is more rough in comparison to this. Or next example is if rusting is more, if the surface of iron is rough. The concept is this only. Now fourth point is low enthalpy of adsorption. Already you know the interaction in case of phase adsorption is weak van der Waals force of attraction. So it has low enthalpy of adsorption, that is 20 to 40 kilojoule per mole. Fourth point is reversible in nature. It is reversible. Phase adsorption is reversible in nature. Sixth point is multi-layer adsorption. Now see, in phase adsorption, the adsorption is multi-layer. Suppose on charcoal, any gas is adsorbed. So above that gas, some layer is formed. Above that, some more layer is formed. So it is a multi-layer adsorption because there is no any kind of chemical bond formation. There is only intermolecular force of attraction. Now come to the second type of adsorption. That type is chemical adsorption or chemisorption. Now see, the adsorption take place due to formation of a chemical bond. Formation of a chemical bond between adsorbate and adsorbent is known as chemisorption. Formation of chemical bond. Naturally, if there is formation of chemical bond, then what should be the characteristics of chemisorption? Point one is specific in nature. Already you know, if there is formation of chemical bond, so chemisorption is highly specific. It is not like physisorption that any gas can adsorb on the surface of any adsorbent. No. A particular gas is adsorbed on a particular adsorbent. This is the concept of chemisorption. It is highly specific in nature. Just example we tell. Oxygen is adsorbed on metal by forming oxide, while hydrogen is adsorbed on transition metal by forming hydride. Oxygen form oxide, hydrogen form hydride. So the chemical bonding formed depend upon the nature of adsorbate and adsorbent. So it is highly specific. Now high enthalpy of adsorption. Already you know the bond between adsorbate and adsorbent is very strong, a kind of chemical bond, covalent bond. This bond is very strong but natural. The released heat is high. So the enthalpy of adsorption in case of chemisorption is 80 to 240 kilojoule per mole. Now third point is irreversible in nature. Chemisorption is irreversible in nature. Fourth point is surface area of adsorbent. Naturally, large surface area has more chemisorption. Because it is a surface phenomena. If surface area will be large, then the formation of chemical bond is more and more. This large surface area is also favorable in case of physisorption, but in chemisorption also it is same. Now the fifth point is monolayer adsorption. In case of chemisorption, there is formation of a chemical bond. Suppose hydrogen is adsorbed on platinum surface. Now hydrogen has only one valence electron. If it is formed bond with platinum surface, now hydrogen has no capacity to form the bond with other hydrogen. So in case of chemisorption, the adsorption has single layer, monolayer adsorption is there, not multi-layer, just like in case of physisorption. Now there is a topic which is comparison between physisorption and chemisorption. You quote table 5.1 of NCERT. This it has given 9 points. So for examination point of view, we have to remember at least 6 points. So See this, physisorption. It arises because of van der Waals forces. It is caused by chemical bond, already I have told. Second point, it is not specific in nature. Chemisorption, it is highly specific in nature. Third point, it is reversible in nature, physisorption. Chemisorption, irreversible in nature. Fourth, it depends on the nature of gas. It means more easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed readily. Here fourth point, it is also depend on the nature of gases which can react with adsorbent, so chemisorption. Fifth point, enthalpy of adsorption is low, 20 to 40, or enthalpy of adsorption is more, high, 80 to 240 kilojoule per mole. Now sixth point, look this. Low temperature is favorable for adsorption. Already I have explained delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. In that you have seen that lower temperature prefer the adsorption. So in case of physisorption, low temperature is favorable condition for the adsorption. It decreases with, it's a very important point, it decreases with increase of temperature. Now, for chemisorption, high temperature is favorable for adsorption because in chemisorption there is formation of a chemical bond and every chemical bond has activation energy for the formation of bond. So, high temperature is favorable for chemisorption. It increases with increase in temperature. Now, 7th point, no appreciable activation energy is needed. Here, high activation energy is needed. Point 8, it depends on the surface area, physisorption के बारे में है, and it increases with an increase of surface area. It also depends on the surface area. It too increase with increase in surface area. This surface area point is common for both. Physisorption also increase due to increase of surface area. Chemisorption also increase due to increase of surface area. So this is the comparison part. It is not distinguished. Suppose in examination, what are the difference between physisorption and chemisorption? Now this point is not very suitable for that. Now, last point is, it results into multimolecular layer on adsorbent surface under high pressure. And chemisorption, it results into unimolecular layer. And a monolayer is formed in case of chemisorption. Now, there is a question, and this is a very good question, that, please see this question. What is adsorption isobar? How it is helpful to decide the type of adsorption. Now see, this question, this topic adsorption isobar is not given in your course, NCERT, but you should know this. It's very easy and important one. So adsorption isobar means what? See the answer. The graph plotted between extent of adsorption x by m and temperature at constant pressure is known as adsorption isobar. Now see, x by m is what? The amount of gas adsorbed per unit mass of adsorbent. This is x by m. Now for physisorption, if you plot the graph, x by m y-axis take, temperature x-axis, P is equal to constant here. Then the nature of graph is like this. So as temperature increases, the extent of adsorption decreases, and initially decrement is more and it becomes constant. And for chemisorption is, see, this is x by m, y-axis, x-axis temperature, P is equal to constant here. So the nature of graph is like this. It is like this. Look this. In case of chemisorption, as you increase the temperature, extent of adsorption increases and become maximum at certain temperature. It happens due to achieve the activation energy for the formation of a chemical bond between adsorbent and adsorbent. So at a certain temperature, extent of adsorption is maximum. And if you raise the temperature more and more, then the adsorbate molecules get kinetic energy and desorption take place. So if you increase the temperature, extent of adsorption increases, become maximum at a certain temperature, and then decreases as you increase the temperature. In case of chemisorption, the nature of adsorption isobar is like this, and in case of physisorption, adsorption isobar is like this. So this is very good way to distinguish between physisorption and chemisorption. Now, next is adsorption isotherm. This question was asked in this year in CBSE board. Adsorption isotherm. Isotherm is temperature. You see, the graph plotted between extent of adsorption, I mean x by m, and pressure at constant temperature is known as adsorption isotherm. Now, you plot the graph. This is x by m and this is P. So the nature of graph is like this. T is equal to constant. So you see what we get here. At low temperature, at low pressure. Here in your NCERT, your different temperature graph has been given, and this is for 244 Kelvin. Now if you compare these two, what you get? If temperature is less, adsorption is more. If temperature is more, adsorption is less. So at low pressure, what we get? X by m directly proportional to P. At low pressure we see as pressure increases, x by m increases. So x by m proportional to P. At very high pressure, x by m is equal to constant. Here you see x by m become constant, it become parallel to x-axis. Therefore, x by m proportional to p power 0. Because p power 0 is equal to p power 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, at moderate pressure, x by m proportional to p power 1 by n, or x by m is equal to k p power 1 by n. It is known as Freundlich equation. Freundlich equation. This is Freundlich equation. 1 by n lies between 0 to 1. In most of case, 1 by n is between 0.1 to 0.5. So, two extremes you have seen. One extreme is x by m proportional to p and p power 1, and this x by m proportional to p power 0. So, the power of p will be in between 1 and 0. Now, the value of k depend upon the value of k and n, you can tell, depend upon the nature of gas, and the nature of adsorbent and temperature also. Now, calculation of k. How you calculate k? This k is proportionality constant here only. So, taking log both side, we get what you get. Log x by m is equal to log k plus 1 by n log p. This is nothing but y is equal to c plus mx. This is straight line equation. If you plot the graph, if the equation is log x by m is equal to log k plus 1 by n log p. If you plot the graph between log x by m y-axis and log p x-axis, here we see the slope is positive. This is positive, so the nature of graph is like this. And if we extra plot, we can get this y-intercept. Now this y-intercept is what? This is y-intercept. This is log k. So y-intercept is equal to log k, and slope of the graph. Slope is equal to 1 by n. The slope is tan theta only, you know already. A, B, C. So slope is equal to AB divided BC. This value will be 1 by n. This topic is adsorption from solution phase. Now if you take the example, if you take acetic acid and add some activated charcoal, powdered activated charcoal in the acetic acid solution and shake well. After some time we see that the concentration of acetic acid solution decreases. It means Just like adsorption of gas on solid, there is also adsorption of solution on solid. Now we see the similar equation as in Freundlich equation. Now please see your NCERT book. Take some point from here. What we get? The extent of adsorption decrease with an increase in temperature. In case of solution also. Now the second point is extent of adsorption increase with an increase of surface area of adsorbent. Third point is extent of adsorption depends upon the concentration of the solute in the solution, and extent of adsorption depend on the nature of adsorbent and adsorbent. So this is some point, and what conclusion we get? X by m is equal to k C power 1 by n. What is C here? Here C is concentration of solution when adsorption is completed. That is equilibrium concentration. Now if you take log of this equation, we get log x by m is equal to log k plus 1 by n log C. Now similarly, you can plot the graph log x by m in y-axis, log C in x-axis. The nature of graph is like this. Now here the slope is equal to log k, y-intercept is equal to log k, and slope is equal to 1 by n, because y is equal to c plus mx. Now the last topic is application of adsorption. Go through NCERT. Now see the application, just to learn this. First application is production of high vacuum. So for the production of high vacuum, if you are interested to remove all the gases from any container, then first by suction you can remove the gas, and the air can be adsorbed by charcoal from vessel. At last activated charcoal you dip, and the rest gases are removed from there. Second is gas mask. What is gas mask? Gas mask is the mask used by workers which are working in minings. So gas mask, and this is activated, it consists activated charcoal or mixture of adsorbents used for breathing, the coal gas mines, which absorb poisonous gas. Third is control of humidity. So silica and alumina gel. You see in market, if you are going to purchase shoes or some branded jackets or some clothes, you see in packets some material is there. That is nothing but silica gel, which absorbs the moisture and protect the cloth and branded item from damaging, spoiling. Now next point is the removal of coloring matter. Animal charcoal removes the color of solution. Now animal charcoal, you see sugar is prepared from molasses. The color of molasses is yellow. If you add bone charcoal in that and shake well, you get the yellow color of the molasses is removed and you get white sugar. Next is heterogeneous catalysis. You read this. Next one is separation of inert gases. So inert gas can be separated by charcoal. This is especially noble gases, mixture of noble gases are separated by coconut charcoal at different temperature. Next one is in curing diseases. Many drugs kill germs by getting adsorbed on them. Then next one is Froth flotation process, adsorption indicator, and chromatographic analysis. So for homework, write the homework in text 5.1, 5.2 and 5.3. Today it is enough. In next day I will study about catalysis.